Hey everyone, it's been 1 week since Amazon started their new royalty groups and 1 week since I've been in the lowest tier, the creator group. I wanted to show you my progress in this video, and more importantly, I want to show you how you too can do the same things that I've done, especially with Amazon ads. So I'm going to show you all the things that I'm doing currently, give you an update on what's changed, and show you how to create very simple Amazon ads. This isn't the only way to do ads, but I'm going to show you like the very basic ads if you've never done ads before, how to do it, what to look for, and what to change during the week. So if you're new to the creator group and need to run ads, or if you've never run ads before, I think this video can be super helpful to help you get out of this creator group, or even just get more ads or learn about how ads work with Amazon. So let's get into Amazon Merch on Demand first. I'll show you my progress and then we'll jump into ads. Alright, so here I am on Amazon Merch on Demand. I have Productor, which is a plugin on the Chrome browser, and it's working right here. And if you don't know about Productor, you can watch my latest video or the last video I made about it right here, and it shows you how to get it, where to find it. What I want to show you here is this. So when you have Productor on here and put in your account, your Amazon ads account, you'll see this right here. You can see trailing 60 days, 11.8, 88.2, and what that means is non-organic versus organic. Now if you click on it, it doesn't tell you to click on it, but I found this, that if you click on it, boom, up pops this dashboard, and you can see it right here. That really tells you non-organic sales, organic sales. Great that I'm getting sales. What's more important though is the trailing 60 days. So you'll notice basically that's 2 months, right? 30 days and 30 days, kind of an average. My previous month is 9.8. So by the time I get to the end of this month, it's only going to be counting the current month and the previous month. So some of these older ones, this 10% from 2 months ago, you can see from April, that's going to drop off at the end of this month, right? So what will I need to get to the 15% here between these 2 months? Well, the math is really easy. Since it's 50%, you just need double it to 30, and each side would have to either get to that 30. So if ideally you would have 15 and 15 on one, but this, because it's 9.8, you minus 9.8 from 30, and that's what I'm going to need here to balance it out, which will make it 20.2. Now you might be wondering, what will I need to get to 35%? Well, we do the same math. 35 plus 35 equals 70. 70 minus this 9.8 is 60.2, and I'm probably not going to get to 60.2 right here. The more likely scenario is I'll have to go on a couple more months and make this one closer to 35% and this one closer to 35%, and maybe that will get me there. But having one that's this low is just going to be really hard to jump up 2 groups, right? So I'm happy where I'm at, 23.7%. If I keep this pace, eventually these will fall off and this will make it to, like I said, over 15%, right? So I would just add these two together, divide it by 2. The only thing is I don't know when Amazon is going to look at these for the next tier up or group up or whatever. I don't know if it's at the end of this month. I don't know if it's when you hit it at 15%. I don't know if it's 2 months from now, because it's a rolling 60 days. So we will see. I will just make sure that this is above a point where both of these end up, or I can just look at this actually. I don't need to do this, but this will tell me where I'm at, right? If I'm at the trailing 60 days. So really grateful for this. Now, a lot of you said that this doesn't work for you, so I'm going to show you where to put in your Amazon ads account. So I'm going to close this. What you want to do is go to settings. Click on this right here, this change settings. Now, once you open it, you got to scroll down and you'll see Amazon advertising, and it's going to tell you where to find this. So you open up your Amazon advertising if you have it. Hopefully you have it, because if you don't, then this doesn't matter. But this will tell you what to look for. Put yours in the advertising US. Mine's blanked out, so you don't have it here, but that's where you would put yours, and just hit save, and then it will pull that in and tell you about that thing that we just saw. So once it's in, then this should be working, this royalty dashboard. Okay, great. So now you know the progress. I'm making some sales on ads. Now I want to show you how I'm doing that, how to create ads, and then what to look for as your ads keep going and spending money, and like what's a good rate of return, how much should you spend, and all of those things. So let's get into Amazon ads right now, and I'll show you some examples of what to look for. By the way, I forgot to mention, if you have Amazon ads, you should have this tab right here on Amazon Merch on Demand. So it says advertise. You click on that. When you click on that advertise, you'll see this right here, Amazon ads, and then you click that, and then it will go into Amazon ads. All right, so here's my Amazon ads. By default, you'll see this, and you'll have all your ads below here in a table. You'll have a drop down here. I think by default it's lifetime, but I like last 7 days, and last 7 days is really good. And the other one is either yesterday or today. I use those three. Sometimes I use lifetime just to see what sold in the past, but right now for what we're doing, I like using last 7 days. So next thing you want to do is set up an ad. So I'm going to show you how to do that. But before you pick an ad, you might be wondering, what should I put ads on? And you should pick a design or product that has gotten sales already. The reason for this is ads amplify your sales. Now, if you don't know what's selling and if it's going to sell or not, you really don't want to put ads on it yet until you have proof that people actually want to buy it. And because you have sales on these products, then that's proof that actually somebody wants to buy that product. In fact, I would pick the products that have the most sales on it, because that's an even better indication that people want it, right? So go and look, find a product on there. Once you do, then you can come back and then we'll do how to put it in here. So pause this video and go look for a product of yours that has lots of sales. Doesn't have to be the one with the most sales, but if it has more than 5 sales, that's a pretty good indicator that people want to buy it. All right, so once you find your design, I found one here that I didn't have an ad on yet, so we're going to do this together. You're going to need the ASIN. So if you have Productor installed, you'll see the ASIN right here. Let me see. This one right here, ASIN, right? Just scroll over this like this and hit Command C. Now that's going to copy it to your clipboard. And we're going to need that ASIN to make an ad for this product. So that ASIN is for a specific product, not a design. This one is for this t-shirt, which is a standard t-shirt. And you can see it's getting sales. My BSR is very, very high. So it got sales a long time ago, but it did get some sales. And you want to make sure that it's something that people have bought before. The lower the BSR is probably better because it's a more recent sale. So look for some of your products that have low BSRs. Lower than this, you probably want like 100,000 or something like that. So that indicates that people are currently buying your design. So let's go to a campaign here, or go into ads, and let's make a campaign. You can see right here, if you scroll over to the left, you can hit create campaign. Let's do that. We're going to do sponsored products. So I'm going to just click on here, and in United States, and it's going to start. So this is the very basic. There's lots of different ways, as you saw there. There's 4 different ones that you can do. I'm going to show you how to create an auto campaign for this product, auto sponsored campaign. Okay, so when it finally loads up, it will be like this. Add group name. You can call it whatever you want. I just put auto in here. I think other people put whatever. If you need something, you don't really see this, but if you have a group inside of this, then I think that would be helpful. But because we're just doing a single ASIN campaign, I don't think you need this as well, because it's not really going to be a group. It's going to be a group of 1. So I just put auto in there. You can put whatever you want in there. This is where the ASIN comes in. You're going to Command V right here, and you're going to want to use all Amazon products. Once you have it here, it's going to pull it up and then hit add. So make sure that it's right here, your product. Sometimes it may be ineligible, very few times. If that's the case, go find a different product, because you won't be able to do an ad on it. Most of the times you'll be able to add it, and make sure that it's here on this side. We're going to scroll down. Targeting, like I said, we're going to do an automatic targeting ASIN ad, or ad here. And then here, you can do this set default bid. Right now it's set because the reason why you want it to get sales too is because Amazon has information about it, And Amazon knows kind of what the bid should be, at least that's what they tell us. It should be 22 cents. But what I like to do is I like to set the bids by targeting group instead of having it all one. If you don't click this, all of these groups will be set at the same price, but you can see here they're actually different prices. And I've heard you don't need this compliments one, so I'm going to turn that off. And instead of 75 cents here, make sure to click these right here, 22, 21, 16. Yours will be different numbers, of course, but click those. Usually it's a lot lower than 75 cents. Amazon likes to default that at 75 cents, and that's way too high of a bid for most products. So I'm going to just do what it's suggesting here for regular days. And you can see 22, a lot less. So the bids are how much it's going to cost you each time, and then your daily spend is, you know, so let's say it's $5 and you did 20 cents, you'll be able to do that many times until you hit the $5 daily spend. So I like a lower bid. I think that's better. If you do a higher bid, you might outbid somebody, but you're going to blow through your daily spend. So you kind of want to figure out what that bid is. And I like using Amazon suggestions, at least to begin with. I'll show you how to change that or what to look for to change those in a little bit. Negative keyword targeting, right now we don't need that. I think for a very first ad, I'm going to skip that. Skip this negative product targeting as well. I like to do dynamic bids down only so that it doesn't go up, so you're not spending more than you want. This is up and down. It can raise it. This is a fixed bid, so it will never move. But I think down only is great, because if you're paying less for it, hey, that's great. This one we're not going to touch here, although once you get some information, you could come back and do this, but I'm not going to do that here. Here's where the campaign name comes in. I like to put that ASIN back in here. So Command V, I like to do a dash and then kind of write what this design is about. So let's go back to the ad here, or the product. I like to put the title a little bit and tell myself, because this is for me, that it's a standard shirt. So I like to do something like, in this case, I before E standard shirt. They're all going to be shirts, so I'll just put standard on here. Starting today, no end date, and I like to start with a budget of $5 or below. If it's something that I don't know if it's going to sell because it haven't sold in a long time, I may even put just like $1 on there just to get it some look at. If it's something that has sold more recently and I know it's a bestseller and I know people are going to buy it, then I'll up my daily budget to 5 because it's more proven. So I'm going to hit it at 1 right here, and then I'm not going to do this. Some people like increased bids at higher traffic days. Again, I want to keep my bids lower right now because I'm just trying to learn if people actually want to buy this as people see it in the sponsored ads. And that's it. I'll hit launch campaign, and we're going to see it pull up here in a minute. Oh, first this right here is just saying congratulations, launch. You can go back to your campaign manager or you can create another campaign. I'm going to go back to the campaign manager to show you a few things and examples of what to look for in the future once these things start getting some data for you. All right, I'm going to show you 3 examples on what to look for. There's 3 things that you should know about. We already talked about 2. One is the bids. So those bids that you saw on there, the 20 cents. The second is daily spend. So we already did that as well when we set it. You'll see some of my daily spends are a little higher, and I'll show you why. And then next is ACOS, or ACOS right here. And you can hover over here and see what ACOS is, advertising cost per sale. Basically, this is the number that's telling you if your ads are worth the spend. And what does this mean? So let's take, for example, how much a t-shirt costs. So here's some real numbers. Right now, because I'm in the lowest tier, in the creator tier, if I price my standard shirt at $25.99, I get a royalty of $4.66. Now take this number right here, the royalty, and divide it into here. So $4.66 divided by $25.99, and I pretty much get a 17% ACOS, or 17% break even ACOS. Now, I want to make sure that it doesn't go above $17% on my ACOS when we're looking at that number. Now, you can play with these numbers, whatever your numbers are. If you're in the higher group, you can do this itself. Just take this royalty and take this, and all things being even, this is the simplest way to do ACOS. You want to have it even lower. So if your ACOS is actually, your break even ACOS is 20%, you probably want something more like 17% just to not break even and make some profit, right? So let's go back here. I'm going to go here, and you'll notice some of these are way higher than 17%. So first thing first, after 7 days, you'll see right here, do the 7-day drop down, right? This one, last 7 days. So only after 7 days. Don't look at this every single day. You might go crazy and make a lot of changes. So after 7 days, look at this ACOS. Most likely it will be higher than that 17% that we're looking at. And so what to do here? So you would just click into it and change the bids. So the bids for this is too high. It's getting lots of sales, but your ACOS is too high. So that means you will lower your bid. So let me show you what happens. Click into the campaign name right here. I'm not showing you my campaign name because the campaign name actually shows you my ASIN and my name, but I'll show you what happens after you click on it. So after clicking on that name, you'll have this kind of campaign overview. That can help. I haven't used that yet, so it's still in beta. I'm going to close that. I'm going to show you how to do it manually. Go into the group name, which I called auto, remember, and I can click it right here. Now here is where you want to lower the bids. So you'll notice that I'm trying to lower the bids. It's suggesting 53 cents. So I'm going lower than 53 cents. I'm at 47 cents. And if I look at it again and it's still too high, I'm going to lower it again. So you can see the ACOS for this one is 10, which is really good, but the ACOS for this one is 131. I probably will turn that one off, actually. I'm going to turn off substitutes. It's only getting me 2 purchases, so the one that is making me the most is this one, loose match. You could leave them on, but I like to kind of narrow it down to the one that's working the most, and then I have a little bit more control on the bid. So the bid is all going here to this 47 cents one, and hopefully gets me a lot more with this lower ACOS. And remember, we want the lower ACOS because we're getting more sales for the money that we're spending. Now we want to get close to that 17%, so I probably can get it to maybe a 15 or something, but I don't want to go over 17 because then I'm spending more than I'm actually making, and that's not what I want to do. All right, the second scenario that might happen is after 7 days, you look at it and your ACOS is actually lower than the 17%, and this is exactly what you want to happen. So when you have it lower, like this one right here, 11%, you would also adjust bids, but if it's something that's actually making lots of sales, you may want to up your daily spend as well. So you can see right here, my daily spend is $10 instead of $5. I'm trying to get more sales from this 11% ACOS. But I also can raise the bids a little bit to help me get even more sales, because the higher the bid, the more chances I get to get more sales, because I'm outbidding somebody to get that spot on the sponsored page, or the page that it's showing on. So let me go back. Well, I don't need to go back, but the same thing you would do there is look at the bids that you have currently and raise them slightly, just 10-20% at the most. You don't have to go crazy and put it all the way up, because what will happen if you raise your bids too high, then your ACOS again is going to go too high, and then you're going to have to lower the bid. So just up it a little bit, right? So you don't want to go way past it. So that's scenario number 2, is that you have sales. Both of these actually are great because you're getting sales. Sales are great. Depending on what you have for the ACOS of your sales, you'll usually change the bid. So ACOS too high, lower your bid so that your ACOS lowers as well. ACOS lower, raise your bid so you can get more sales and take advantage of pushing that closer but not over the 17% that we said is the break even. So the last scenario that is going to happen is that you don't have any sales, and this will happen a lot. Actually, I have a lot of those as well, so I'm going to show you some examples on what to look for when you don't have any sales. No sales means no ACOS, so you can't look at that. All right, so I have clicks on here. I'm going to click on this so that it shows me the ones with the most clicks at the top. So it will have the arrow down, arrow down, and clicks. That's what we want. So these have the most clicks. Of course, a lot of them with sales will have the most clicks, but we're going to scroll down, and what we want to look for is at least 20 clicks with no sales. So this one right here has 35 clicks and no sales. Now, you can do one of two things. You can play with the bids and hopefully get some sales because of it, but I actually like turning it off. If I already spent $10, got more than 20 clicks, and it's not getting me any sales, I'm going to move on and try something else. So I'm going to come in here and you can turn it off. You'll see right there that I turned it off. So just instead of right here, this is on, click on this side and turn those off. You don't need to waste your time on those, at least right now. I put a tag on it saying loser, or this isn't working, or something like that in the name of the title. You can change the name of it so that when you look at this and like, why is this turned off? It wasn't profitable. That's why. So make a note for yourself on there. Let me see if there's another one here. Yeah, this one right here. 28 clicks. Didn't quite spend the $10 that I want, but I already turned this one off, I believe. No, I didn't. So I would just come in here and turn that off right there. Boom. So I had this one. I only spent $1, so I could come up here and try and play the game of, you know, maybe if I increase the budget amount, increase the bids, give it them a chance, give it some more spend to get some, but I sometimes just do the 20 clicks because I have so many right now. So depending on how many ads you have right there, you can play that game. So basically, those are the three things you want to look for. Does it have sales and a high ACOS? Then lower your bids. Does it have sales and a low ACOS? Then increase your bids and possibly your spend. And does it not have any sales at all? Then look at the clicks. If it doesn't have 20 clicks, then leave it on until it does. So here's another one, has 25 clicks. I would look at clicks and spend actually. So 20 clicks, about $10 spend, and you can see a lot of these fall into that. But this one right here is an example of only 6 clicks, $4 spend. I would just let that keep going until I get some clicks and some spend on it to really know if nobody actually wants to buy that, even with sponsored ads. Alright, so there you go. That was my quick video, not so quick video about Amazon ads and how to use it and what to look for. Hopefully this is really helpful for you. Again, this is just the very basic ones. There's lots of ways to do ads. As I learn more and more, I'll put some videos on how to do even more advanced ads, but this will get you started, and that's what I'm using the most right now to get me into that higher percentage that I talked about. Now, if you want to learn more about Productor and how to get that dashboard, I'll put that video right here if you haven't seen it already. This is the plugin where you can see that royalty dashboard, and that can really help you kind of guide yourself to where you're at in the group, or if you're going to make it to the next group next month. Thanks again for watching, and as always, keep creating and keep learning. I'll see you on the next one.